Welcome to the finale of Belmont's Revenge. We have finally arrived at Castlevania, and these are some pretty meaty stages for only being 2 levels, but the bosses here are pretty broken, and we'll see what I mean when we get to it. Damn, this music's good. Now, this level right here is not too bad. They don't start dropping the bombless pits on you just yet. It isn't until the next stage where they start to go crazy with the bombless pits, and that stage is annoying. This section right here is ripped straight out of the adventure. I don't think the spikes insta-kill you, but again, I never touched those in my life to actually find out. When you see the center thing blink, that's when you want to jump. Oh, it's the Boomerang guys. I haven't seen you in like 15 years. These guys work the same way they did in the first game. And by first game, I mean Castlevania The Adventure. I gotta stop saying first game because I'm confusing people into thinking that I'm talking about Castlevania 1 on the NES. And I'm really mean Castlevania The Adventure on Game Boy. Whenever they throw the boomerang towards your head, duck, and then jump because the boomerang will circle back downwards. And vice versa for when they throw it downwards and it circles back up. And again, while we're on the subject, why is this game Castlevania 2? We already got a Castlevania 2 on NES, and this game is completely different from that one, so why call this game 2 and why place it in between 3 and 4? So basically how the series goes is Castlevania 1, Castlevania 2, Castlevania 1 again, and then I think another Castlevania 1 with Vampire Killer, and then Castlevania 3, which is a prequel, and then Castlevania 2, which is something completely different from the other Castlevania 2, then Castlevania 4, which is just Castlevania 1 again. And what is going on with this series? I'm gonna have to call James Rolfe. I'm sure he'll figure this shit out. That was obviously a joke. I don't have the angry video game nerd's number. Now, I do want to make a correction. Remember how I said that the cross is not in this game? Well, I was half wrong. The cross is in the game. In Japan. Alright, I'm booting up the Japanese version of Castlevania 2 because I just found out that there's a weapon that's missing in the American version. I actually want to see if it's in this version because... what a jip. Okay, press start. We're just gonna go to Crystal Castles real quick just to see. I believe it's at the beginning of the level, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, just go over to the left, as always, kill this candle, get the power up, get these hearts, for some reason. It's a crawl, kill that. Now, normally, there would be an axe at that bottom candle, right? Well, look at that. It's a freaking cross. The Japanese version has the cross and the American version doesn't. What a fucking ripoff. For so long, I thought that the cross was not in this game, but it turns out it was in the fucking Dracula Densetsu version? What?! And no, saying that with censorship does not save the case because the cross was in previous games dubbed as the boomerang, so why is it just banned altogether in this one? Damn you 90s parents and your stupid philosophies, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just mad that there's no cross in the American version. Okay. Chill out. Alright, so the boss in this level is kind of challenging because he'll trap you in the corner and he'll do a lot of damage. For this boss, you want to stay as far ahead as you possibly can, otherwise he'll trap you at the back end of the screen, and that can get annoying. He doesn't crush you instantly, but it does a lot of damage. You might as well be dead at that point, actually. Look for an opening and strike this guy in the head. You do not want to get trapped by this guy. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Fuck! I got one hit left, and I don't like this boss. He always traps me in a corner. Just freaking die, please. Thank you. And sad news is, that's not even the hardest boss in the game. This is without a doubt the weakest song in the game, which is unfortunate because it's the last area of the game, and it also came behind what was perhaps the greatest song in this game. So I don't know how you go from the greatest song in the game to this. This song is just average at best. This stage tends to drag, and not in the good way. Just imagine all of the stage challenges from the previous areas mashed into one. Then you got Castlevania Level 2. And also, the boss here sucks. He absolutely fucking sucks. And definitely watch out because we're getting into some heavy bottomless pit areas. And you might go flying into one if you're not careful. While the game itself is still pretty good, the last two bosses can be pretty atrocious. It's a special case. It's the same problem I have with Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I love that game, but the last 3 missions suck. Including the raid on Solace. Now, about the raid on Solace, you're in a slow-ass Y-wing, and all the missile turrets are shooting at you. They don't gun for Wedge or Kaysen, they only aim at you. And missile launchers in the Star Wars games are probably the most dangerous thing in the universe. You can do a 180-degree turn, and that missile will also do a 180-degree turn and still hit you. It is that precise. And one more thing about the Solace level before I move on is, it's a search and destroy mission. You have to destroy items in that part, and the area is dark and foggy like in classic N64 fashion. So, good job guys, good job. I can't see shit. This game also has that similar difficulty spike. Well, nothing goes dark, thankfully. But the bosses take a turn in cheapness. As you're gonna see later, I can't hit a boss on certain body parts, and yet he can still hit me from really far away without even touching, or like touching his sprite basically, and that could be annoying. The next few Castlevania games don't really have that hitbox problem except for maybe Slagra from 4. But even then, I think that was just unintentional programming as opposed to, let's make this boss as difficult as possible. Because with Slagra, you can still at least hit him whenever the chance presents itself. Soleiyu in this game, on the other hand, is, you can't really do that. You have to be as far away from him as possible, and also have holy water in order to increase your chances of actually doing damage to him. And you may notice how I'm not talking about Dracula yet. It's because he only has one form, but it's definitely the hardest form in the series, right next to Castlevania 3. You got more of these grindy gears from Cloud Castle. You're gonna have to walk onto that rope because if you jump, you're gonna hit that top gear. Just try to whip this guy from the rope, or use the axe, or if you're playing the Japanese version, the cross. Or just wait for him to walk to the wall like I just did. I was being Maverick that day. This section is not too bad. It's actually kind of fun. Not all the parts in the final stage are really bad, it's just the final bosses, and as well as it drags on too long, so... yeah, it definitely puts a dark mark on the end of the game, but hey, what are you gonna do? I don't even know what's in that candle, I never go for it. I think it's just another sub-weapon. The song just kind of meanders. Why does it sound so boring? Is it supposed to be anticipation music? Like you're going into the final stage of the game and it's just elevator music. I don't get it. I think a better choice of song would be the anticipation music for the bosses. You know, en route to the bosses and not so much the boss music itself. That one's actually a better piece than this one right here. It will probably loop too quickly for how long the stage is, but this song also loops too quickly for how long this stage is. This is a pretty long stage. But this is the final stretch. This is the last room in the area. And now we're gonna have to face Soleiyu, the dickhead. He's so cheap. The spiders make a return. Just whip them when they're all the way down, otherwise you'll trap yourself. And even if you do, just walk back and then walk back to where the spiders are and they should respawn. Now, if this were Castlevania The Adventure, these jumps would be the most challenging part of the game, because as we all know, Castlevania The Adventure itself is the most challenging part of the game. Don't kill the spiders right here, you'll need them in order to jump across. And you got 2 more bone pillars, don't get hit by their psychedelic balls. The return of the psychedelic balls. You'll lose your whip power up and you'll be shit out of luck for Soleiyu. Unless you get the holy water. I'm surprised you have made it this far. The rebirth of Dracula will soon occur. You cannot destroy me, Father. Yep, that's right. Christopher's son is under mind control, and we gotta knock some sense into him. But we're gonna have a pretty difficult time, I'll tell you that much. Soleiyu's patterns are simple in theory. He'll move from left to right while occasionally using his whips, and once he gets to the corners, he'll throw these 3 daggers. The problem is, the daggers are huge. And the daggers are fast, they are almost impossible to avoid, so you're gonna have to manipulate the pathfinding. Have one go down and the other one go diagonal by just standing underneath them in a certain way. It's harder than it looks. And one more thing about Soleiyu. His hitbox is atrocious. And you're probably wondering, oh, you're exaggerating. Look at him, he's the same size as you. You can hit him as much as he can hit you, right? Oh, you poor child. No. Now watch as my whip goes straight through Soleiyu's legs without him taking any damage. And his whip does the same to me, it just goes through my legs and I don't take any damage, but I'm still not going to give that any slack. That's just really weird programming. But more importantly, whenever I get near Soleiyu, I just take a hit from some invisible force. I don't know why that happens. Here's the time I beat him. What you need to do for this boss fight is stay away from him, just wait for him to come over to you, and use holy water. Holy water is your best friend. And also watch out for the knives. And also that whip too. I think the whip does the most damage, but it's definitely the knives that are the biggest threat of this battle, because he throws them a lot. Those knives that Soleiyu throws, you're just gonna have to know where to stand in order to not take a hit, because they come at you at max speed and you're not really fast enough to dodge it unless you're already on that other side of the screen. Like, look right here, I have to stand right there in order for that knife to not come crashing toward me. It just went diagonally off screen, and it did again. And look, I don't mean to complain, I like a hard boss as much as the next person, but I also like a fair boss. And this guy is just straight up not fair. He's cheaply programmed in so many ways. Ouch! What am I doing? Oh, Father. Since Dracula cannot use my powers, Dracula will use the powers of the four castle spirits. Hurry up! Quickly! Okay, how does Soleiyu know that Dracula can use the four castle spirits? Oh, never mind. It's not important. We're approaching Dracula right now. Like I said before, he only has one form in this game, but it's probably the hardest fight in the series. Here's what Dracula does. He'll teleport around the room and he'll throw orbs at you. The orbs do a lot of damage, and you need to stand in very specific areas on the map in order to not get hit by those orbs. Now, figuring out where to stand is the challenging part. At least you can still hit this guy though. It's a very tiny hitbox on his head. But at least it's still a consistent tiny hitbox. But no, seriously, this boss is challenging because of the memorization. You have to know where to stand in order to avoid his attacks, but also go up towards him and hit him, which takes off one hit point, of course. And cut to the part where I actually beat Dracula. I died like 4 times to him. If you're watching this gameplay, take note on where Dracula is teleporting to. He'll go to these 6 platforms, those side platforms on the far ends of the screen he'll never teleport to, and then just take note on where I'm standing, and maybe occasionally jump to if it looks like the orb is still gonna hit you. One more thing. Don't get greedy. If it looks like you're gonna get 3 hits, chances are you're probably gonna get hit yourself. Go for 1 hit or at the very least 2, because that will give you enough time to get away from his attacks. You're in this fight for the long haul. Gotcha, sucker. And that was Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. It's a good game for the Game Boy. I would play this over the Adventure, but still, you gotta consider that the final area of the game is a really random difficulty spike, so just be warned. I'm excited for this next game coming up, and I bet all of you at home are excited for me to actually play this game. The next game in the lineup is Castlevania No, I'm kidding. It's Super Castlevania 4, a fantastic, fantastic game for the Super Nintendo. Oh, one more question. Is there even a game where you play as Soleiyu? I'm just wondering because he never appears again in the classic series. The war is over. Dracula's scheme was... Oh, it just disappeared at the bottom again. Now, whenever it does that, there's blinking going on at the bottom and tops of the text at 60 frames per second. I can only capture the footage at 30 frames, so unfortunately, it's gonna have to do for a while. Dracula's scheme was foiled because of the combined power of Christopher and Soleiyu. And also, this text is slow. Why is it so slow? Once again, the world was saved thanks to the Powerpuff Girls. I mean, the Belmonts. The world is at peace. Okay, I'm not even gonna try to read all of this. And then what happened? Soleiyu has... Yeah. No, I'm just gonna wait for it to come halfway. Soleiyu has overcome the dark curse and will... Christ, this goes on forever. And will continue to fight... anytime now. Dracula and his forces. Dracula and his forces. I think that's the end of the text. Oh no, it's not. Damn it. Soon after. Dude, this is Star Wars. What is going on here? The Belmont family has a long... I know the last one. A long history of vampire killing or something like that. A long history of vampire killing. I got it. I knew the hunters. Oh. Damn it. Well, I was close. The legend will always continue. And yeah, that's the end of Castlevania 2. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you for Super Castlevania 4. Love that game. Absolutely love that game.